Hi guys, Dorothy here, professional astrologer. Today I'm going to talk about the week beginning with March 11th. So we have Mercury freshly in its retrograde phase. So I'm going to talk about how we can use this in a productive way. Since there's always so much negative stuff out there about Mercury retrograde, please, I want to distill some of those myths and talk about some of the lunar action that's going on throughout the week so we can be productive and not in that place of we can't get anything accomplished because Mercury's retrograde. Going to tell us how we can work with that throughout the week. So stay with me and I'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back. So join me at my website, nhastrologer.com. All of my forecasts that are recorded here are written out ahead of time. So each forecast is just a wee bit different. What I write out isn't everything that I always talk about, and vice versa. Sometimes stuff just comes in and just comes to me while I'm talking to you guys. And once the forecast is written, I'm all set with it. And so it'll be published before you get to see this. So come to my website and check that out. So let's get started on Monday the 11th. Why and how do we work with this Mercury retrograde? Let's start with the moon in Taurus. Throughout the day, the moon in the sign of Taurus has been there since Sunday, right? And today's Monday the 11th is about feeling very grounded and heightens our senses as to what it is that we value. Makes us feel very grounded. And grounded doesn't have to be this overly spiritual word. It just means that we're being present. Who isn't present when they're eating like the best, yummiest food you've ever had, right? You're like, this is so good, you don't want to stop. That's the moon in Taurus being present. This is what we get to do today while Mercury is retrograde in Pisces. Monday is a very grounded day, a very logical and very practical day. Now, throughout the day, right around 11:30, and then at 2:30, and then at 10 p.m., this is all Eastern time zone, when the moon connects with Mars, Saturn, Pluto in easy aspects, all of them. What this does for us is helps us to feel motivated but grounded at the same time. The moon conjuncts Mars, and that is big motivation. What is it? And how do I want to take action? That's around noontime. And then the moon will trine Saturn and then Pluto, because Saturn and Pluto are almost together. And so when that happens, we are feeling, it helps to inspire feeling grounded and motivated. All right? Those are the energies that we have during the day. And while the moon is moving through this sign of Taurus and helping us to feel very motivated and very grounded, that Mercury retrograde in Pisces says, work on your dreams. What are your dreams? What have you been thinking about or dreaming about for a long time? While Mercury is retrograde in this sign, we have multiple opportunities to do many different things, and that is one of them. Focus on what you've been dreaming about and what you want to start to manifest. Get a notebook and write your dreams out, write those wishes out, write those things down so you're able to see it. And we're not going to take any action, but we're motivated to at least get our thoughts, our dreams, our ideas down on paper. I'm going to talk about that a lot throughout this whole week forecast. That's the main message of this whole week. But keep listening, I got more to talk about too. All right, that's what Monday represents. Let's move on to Tuesday. Tuesday, what we have is at noontime, the moon is moving into the sign of Gemini. And when the moon moves into the sign of Gemini, this becomes an actively thinking time period. So it will be in that sign all the way until around 5 p.m. on Thursday. So half of Tuesday, all of Wednesday, most of Thursday, the moon in Gemini says this: if you're thinking something or you're feeling some way, express that to whomever you need to express it to, okay? Don't hold your emotions back. Sometimes we'll think it through, and then we just think things too much or too many things, and it gives us a headache. So if you're thinking something and you're really emotionally charged by it, share that with whomever you need to share that with, all right? Whether it's something that's upsetting or something that feels really great and you want to share an idea with somebody. There is nothing wrong with sharing thoughts and ideas during the retrograde of Mercury, because these things can flow in and out of our lives easily over the next few weeks while Mercury is retrograde in this sign. Taking advantage of the moon in Gemini, it was all about communicating, all about talking, thinking, write stuff down, have pen and paper near you always. So you're able to write things down while you're inspired and then just leave it. So you don't have to worry about remembering for now. We'll activate and we'll work on those things in April when Mercury comes back and hits these areas again. But in the meantime, write stuff down. Have a little journal, a little notebook, keep it with you so you can write down your inspirations. That's the big news for Tuesday, March 12th. Moving on to 13th, which is Wednesday. We still have the moon in Gemini making more aspects, so I still want you to continue all through Wednesday. Write anything down that's important for you. Talk to the people you know you need to talk to. Keep things as clear and concise as possible all of the time that we have this retrograde going on, and especially while especially while the moon is in Gemini. Be clear. Be as clear as you possibly can. Now, another thing about the moon in Gemini is let's make sure we're not the only one talking, but we're a good listener too. Big key point, Tuesday into Wednesday into Thursday. Besides communicating what's important, it's very important to listen. All right, you get a lot of information if you slow down and listen. What else we have going on Wednesday, the 13th, is the Sun making a square to Jupiter, and that's around 9 at night. It also sextiles Pluto in the morning. What we get with this is motivation to take action. Again, where we're feeling we need to take action. It's not about planning anything out. It's like we feel motivated to do something. This is very important that we follow the lead. We follow that path of least resistance, that we follow and trust our own intuition during this strong Pisces period, all right? And so that's what the Sun will help inspire on Wednesday while the moon is still in Gemini and we're still figuring out how we're going to communicate and listen well. Those are the things that we need to do for Wednesday. On Thursday, we have multiple things going on. First off, the moon will make her final aspect before going void of course with an aspect to Mercury retrograde. And so I have to say, throughout the day, this might be a day where things feel a little unsettled because we're not sure of the choices and decisions we need to make if we are living through our emotions. That's the key. If we're allowing our emotions to run the show today, then we're going to be a little confused and a little unsure. How do we not do that? Well, just by recognizing if you're having an emotion, you recognize it, you acknowledge it, and then if you like it, fine. If you don't, then you figure out how to move past it, all right? And just let it be. This is allowing, letting go, and allowing. These are all key things that we're doing during this Pisces period. Now, one of the other aspects that we have on Thursday is Mars in Taurus making a trine aspect to Saturn in Capricorn. So don't glaze over. I'm going to tell you what it means. What it means is when these two in an easy aspect like they are right now, that means they are cooperative. They are determined. We are able to see what is important to us for a few days especially, and we're driven to get things done. All right? Now, using that Mercury in Pisces, let's again make sure it feels good and you're allowing things to flow and you're trusting your intuition. Don't go blindly trying to force something to happen. That's not going to work. As long as it's in alignment with you, alignment with the things you want to accomplish, in alignment with things that are already active in your life already. This Mars trine Saturn today on Thursday is incredibly helpful, and even Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, because this energy lasts for a few days on either side. We have a great opportunity to get some things accomplished and forward movement. All right? Don't let that retrograde fool you. It's not that strong. Mars Saturn trine is much stronger than has the day. It means we get things done today. All right, did I forget anything? Let's take a quick peek here. On Thursday evening, let me look at my notes. The moon in Cancer is making a really easy aspect to Uranus and Taurus, and that's at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. What this is this is an opportunity to open our minds and to feel a little more inspired and a little more just innovative and creative. And I know it's at night, but the point is like I want you to think back to Sunday. And what was that? Was it Sunday? Yeah, Sunday, March 10th. And if you think back to Sunday, March 10th, and that's when the moon was conjunct Uranus, did you initiate something on that day, or did you have a new idea on that day? Again, look at your notes. And even if you're not a journal keeper, I've mentioned this before, just use a calendar and just put a couple of sentences or 1 or 2 words on that day so you can be triggered as to what you were doing on that day so you can remember. Because this moon sextile Uranus on Thursday night is really innovative and creative, and we can start to see, what we've been working on, especially since last Sunday. We're able to, 5 days into this. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, we're 5 days, making sure I'm right. We're 5 days into it. So get your stuff together and be open for what have I been working on since Sunday, and is it in alignment with what I want? All right, that's what we have for Thursday. I want to move on to Friday, which is March 15th. Mercury and Jupiter square off today. Mercury retrograde, Jupiter in Sag. This is going to be a day where there could be a lot of miscommunications going on. Jupiter expands everything it's connected to. So these are one of the days where I said, okay, we may have some discomfort on the transits with these transits today. All right. So no matter what goes on for you today, whether there's miscommunication or just an abundance of communication, because this can happen too, Jupiter always inflates everything when it's involved in a transit. And this is what we have for today. So busy day, sure. Confusing day, potential is there. Keep the lines of communication open and clear. This is what we need to do with this Mercury as it's connecting to other planets, is keeping those lines of communication open. And if somebody says something to you, this is real relationship stuff. It's like you repeat back, this is what I heard. Is that what you said? This is the best way to use this, especially Friday. Especially if your boss is telling you to do some stuff, or you, the boss, is telling employees to do things. Just make sure you're clear. And that's what Friday is going to feel that way. It's going to be a little bit of the Mercury retrograde kind of time, which is just about restating everything that we need to make sure the message gets across. Yeah. And I'm recording this on the day Mercury's stationary, and I think I'm going to edit out about half of what you're not going to see because, I'm stumbling on my words here and there, but that happens. I'm Gemini, so ruled by Mercury. Just have to go with the flow, and that's what you need to do too. That's why I always feel like I have to defend Mercury retrograde. It's silly. Pop astrology has made it really crappy, and it's not a crappy thing. Mercury's retrograde 3 times a year. A third of the year it's retrograde. Just like the same amount of time that you and I have to sleep. And I've said this before, we need to slow down and rest to recharge and be a fresh human being. And Mercury does the same thing. That's the energetic stuff behind what Mercury retrograde is. We need that time just to retract a little bit and not always be on the go, go, go. All right, let's look at the weekend. On Saturday, March 16th, Seacoast Astrological Association has its opening meeting for the year. And I'll have the link in the text box below on YouTube, so you can find out about that. If you're in the area, come listen to our lectures. Linda Champagne will be talking about the transiting lunar nodes. This is her expertise, so this will be a great lecture if you want to come to that. But hopefully you won't listen to me too closely here. When the moon is in Cancer on a day like today, we kind of want to stay home and we want to nest and we just want to feel comfy, have good food, just be around family, whomever family is. So if you're my astrological family, come and join us, or do whatever makes you feel like you're with family on a day like today, because this is what we have for, this is the big news of the day really on Saturday, is that moon in Cancer. It is connecting to multiple planets throughout the day, so we can actually have like a roller coaster of emotions throughout the day, especially if you have a water sign moon. So you're going to feel that way to begin with. So on Saturday, we have a couple things to focus on where the retrograde of Mercury is, because it actually starts on Saturday and goes Sunday, Monday. So for these 3 days approximately, Mercury, it will be in a sextile aspect. I'm going to tell you what that means. Don't glaze over yet. Makes a sextile to Mars, Saturn, and Pluto. The first thing is to Mars from one direction, and then Saturn and Pluto from the other direction. And what we have with that is Mercury is activating all of these planets. So what does it mean? It means conversations, communications, all of these things will be on our mind. It will be a busy day for getting out there, moving around, talking, setting up plans, but we never get the whole picture when Mercury is retrograde. So once again, I'll repeat myself, take notes, be as clear as you can, understand that misunderstandings happen, and work with that. That's Saturday, Sunday, even into Monday. We're going to be feeling all of these energies. So the whole picture will not be revealed, whatever your activity is in that category of communicating and talking and getting information from people, okay? Later, if the first week in April, when Mercury comes back, it's somewhere around April 8th, when Mercury comes back as a direct planet and retraces its step over this position that I'm talking about right now, then you'll have an opportunity for more information to be revealed. This is just how we work with the retrograde of Mercury. So more will be revealed early April. But in the meantime, just know that the weekend, we have this whole period of a lot of communication going on, but we might not be getting the whole picture. So just recognize that and ask a lot of questions, but still know there's more. There really are no final answers right now, especially when Mercury's connecting with these 3 planets. And he's really at the midpoint. He makes this neat little, you can't really see it, a little triangle type thing where it's sextiles and then planets are trine. Anyways, it's an activation point that's super important. So if you have anything at 20 Pisces, right around 22 Pisces, that is where that activation point is. And so that's a really important place to pay attention, because you got other planets coming in. Lots of astrology talk here. I'm going too deep. So I'm going to leave you with that for now. Thank you very much. Please always do, you know the routine. Comment, like, share. This is my profession. So if you like to have personal input, my website is in the link below on YouTube and on Facebook, and it's nhastrologer.com. So come and see me soon if you like. Thank you very much. Blessings. Namaste. And for all of you guys who saw those orbs in my videos, last week's video, it freaked me out too. I didn't know I had that in my house. I've had a lot of people pass this year, so it wouldn't be surprising that I have a bunch of visitors. But yeah, I always use, when I edit here, I just want you to know I use a filter when I have to, because sometimes I talk and I misspeak, and so I have to edit. And when I edit, and it's not always a clean edit, I try to put in a filter just to make it look a little smoother. I'm sure you've noticed. And I'm using this snowy type filter that looks like orbs. So if I'm in between a scene and you see that's what that is. But there were a few other orbs in there that were really surprising to me. And so I've been talking to whomever the spirit guides are, whatever. Thanks for pointing them out, and I appreciate that input on that. I got a lot of input from a lot of different people in private messaging. So thank you very much, and be well. Namaste.